this scenery doesn't give you vertigo, I do not know what will. Uh, Nonetheless, the reason that I'm here is to tell you that I've just jumped off a call with my new client Mark, who's been in RemotePro for 8 weeks now. And in that time, he has achieved some incredible things, not least having his most successful financial months in business, and that's after being in business for 10 years now. Not just the clarity that he has about where he's taking his business moving forwards, but really his conviction in his product and his service and what it is that he's actually offering to his clients. This is one of those case study interviews that isn't just fluffing up the program that's ultimately being sold, in this instance RemotePro. There's genuinely some valuable nuggets in here, so I'll hand over to Mark and let you hear it from the horse's mouth. But this is a great case study interview, so let's get stuck into it. Mark, dude, and for everyone watching, my camera is here. I'm looking at Mark here, so I'm not being super rude and just looking away from it. How are you, mate? How's everything going?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm good. Really good, actually.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure we'll dig into that in a second. Mate, appreciate you jumping on and sharing a little bit of your experience with RemotePro and what's kind of been happening behind the scenes up until now, because you've absolutely smashed it, man. Like, it's so incredible to see what you're doing every single week. But if we could start, just kind of briefly set the scene with where you were at with coaching prior to reaching out to myself and joining RemotePro. Like, where was the business at? Where were you at as an individual? Like, how were you feeling about everything? What was the kind of situation for you before reaching out?
Yeah, so basically, my business has been running for the last decade or so, to be quite honest. And the place I was at I felt like I was winging it. Every single day was kind of imposter syndrome kicked in massively on a regular occurrence because I was basically winging it. I was doing okay with clients. I wasn't charging enough or wasn't delivering the best possible service I could do. But essentially, it was just the fact that I've had imposter syndrome every single day, and it was getting worse. And it shouldn't get worse. It should get easier. Surely as you get through and more established as a business, it should seem okay. So that's where I was, and I've done different mentorships, and I would never kind of say any mentorship's been bad, because I'm the kind of guy that there's something you can take from every single one of them.
Absolutely.
There definitely is. And I've taken something from every single one of them, but just needed a bit more. The one thing I've been searching for was clarity with what I was doing, the structure, the systems to make it work for me. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at initially.
Yeah, sick, man. I think you're probably not alone in the imposter syndrome thing. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I think imposter syndrome is an indicator of two things. Number one, that you care. You're not just kind of like cutting about your life and taking money from clients and going, I don't care if this is good enough. I'm getting paid. So I think imposter syndrome is often downstream from feeling like you want to do the best that you possibly can.
Yep.
And I also think that another causation for imposter syndrome is when you are continually pushing yourself, trying to reach new levels. Like when you're in an environment where you feel like you're out of your comfort zone, that's where imposter syndrome starts to creep in. So, I mean, whether or not we fully ever get rid of it, I don't know. And I'm sure we'll talk about this in a second, but hopefully as you've started to build out your new program, which is phenomenal, those feelings of like, am I who I say I am, kind of dissipate, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I'd like to say it will never go completely, but
Yeah.
it got to a point where every single day I was like, should I be doing this? Am I good enough for these people that I'm coaching? But now it's a completely different ballgame. The imposter syndrome's still there in terms of having to do things that I'm not comfortable with and
Yes.
stretching myself, kind of stretching my goals and my targets and my aspirations. But I feel so much more in control. It's actually crazy how in control I feel of my business now, which is good. And this is only, I think I've been in 7 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe. It's not
That's definitely 8
a
weeks.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you remember what it was that made you reach out? Like where were you? I mean, what was the feeling that you had? And was there anything in particular that made you think, I need to give this a go, or I need to reach out to Ollie and inquire about RemotePro?
It was basically, it was your ecosystem, work the treatments, everything you teach us. I looking back at it now, I was like, yeah, that's completely
You can see it
worked.
playing out.
played out. So it was all of the kind of content that you were delivering and posting out on Instagram, email marketing, that kind of stuff. And I was just reading over time, as you do, you take it in, sometimes you don't read them. But I was actually really proactively engaged in your content, and probably 2 weeks of just consistently taking it on board, I was like, this guy understands exactly where I want to get to and who I want to be. And I was sick of trying to. I've done a mentorship in the past where they promote being the CEO, where they promote you got to run the business, you got to have employees. And I've done this, I've done it as well. And it was the most stressful thing, man, having like different employees and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to get control back. And then your content, your message really resonated with where I was at and who I want to be, not just as a business owner, but a husband, for my family, all that kind of stuff as well. And yeah, just like you throw out so much good business advice, but the kind of personal aspect of your life as well was something
Mm.
I aspired to. And I was like, yeah, he's got it. He seems like he's got it all together. I don't know if you completely have, behind the scenes, but it seemed like you got it all together, man. And I was like, yeah, I want to live that kind of life where I'm just in control of business, having a great relationship with family, friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I resonate with that massively, mate, because that was me in 2023 with like multiple team members trying to be the CEO of the business and trying to
Yeah.
move myself from the coaching. And I've hammered this drum a lot, but I think it's a really important message for coaches in this day and age, because a lot of business coaches, and not to, like, as you said, not to throw shade on anyone else, right? Everything works and you can always take something from everything. But I think a lot of the business coaches and mentors at the minute are really pushing hard this idea of like delegate, hire teams. You need setters, VAs, closers,
Yeah.
coaches. And it gets to a point where you're just like extremely disconnected from your clients. You don't have your finger on the pulse with what's happening in your business and like the service that people are receiving from you. And if you're not careful, it can lead to like burning your reputation, burning your
Yeah.
brand, you know, and it's stressful, very, very stressful. So like
Yeah.
my whole mission now is to make like one-to-one coaching great again and do it in such a way that is epic for your clients, but you as the coach just have a fulfilling and rewarding day-to-day
Yeah.
life, which
Well,
is
we,
the
we
goal.
love coaching, don't we? It sounds cheesy, but absolutely love when you get a client that comes through your program, and it can be transformative, kind of lifestyle transformative. People change their lives, and there's nothing better than that. And helping people, because people come onto the programs, they're struggling, aren't they? They're not coming on because everything's great. They're struggling with something, and just yeah, I lost touch of. I was trying to automate everything as well, too much. You need to have some systems automated, of course you do, but I was trying to automate everything, and I think I was losing touch with why I got into this to start with,
Mm.
because I love health and fitness and helping people improve that way. But I love the kind of one-to-one interaction with people. Since I moved from the gym floor to online, it can be quite a lonely place at times, and still having that in-depth conversation with clients on a daily basis, with the open door policy now, rather than me saying, right, I'll talk to you once a week, I'll see you on a Friday, and it could be going terribly on a Monday or Tuesday, but they don't tell me till a Friday, and opening the doors up there already since I've been on your program and you've been telling me to do that has just increased the people's kind of enjoyment of the program, I think, to be quite honest, and it's increased my enjoyment of coaching again.
Yeah, mate, it's wicked. It's a funny thing as well. It's a paradoxical thing. Like if I explain to someone without going into detail the one-to-one access stack approach with, like, as you call it, the open door policy, which is
Yeah.
thinking about it, you probably think that it's going to lead to you spending more time on calls, or doing all these different bits and bobs with clients. But actually, I think the opposite is true, man. I think
100%.
when you respect your clients and you give them the autonomy to use you when they need you, and obviously you've got to have touch points throughout the week, that's really important. But when you say, look, this is how it works and this is how we're going to communicate, they respect your time. But not only that, I think the comms that you do have with people is so much more powerful because you're giving them what they need when they need it, as opposed to, like, as you said, you're on this fixed weekly cadence, and it's like sometimes they don't need to watch a 10-minute Loom video from you,
100%. People are
fluffing them up.
busy.
Yeah, people are
Yeah.
busy. Exactly.
And
Versus,
also having those touch points in, like speaking to people in the week more consistently,
mm,
it doesn't have a chance to snowball into a bigger issue, which would
exactly.
result in a 45-minute call. You can nip it in the bud with a 30-second voice note or something like that. So Yeah, it's been a game changer, and it's opened my eyes as to actually what coaching is again, rather than trying
Yeah,
to be a CEO of my business.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. Really cool to hear. Um, okay, so we're sort of like 7 or 8 weeks in now.
Mhm.
Where's that, dude? Where's the business at? How's everything going for you so far? Like, give us a rundown of what's been going on.
Yeah, so I'm having the best year I've had. I mean, I've been an online coach for 2.5 years now, so it's grown year by year, but this year it's exploded. Well, the last 2 months have actually really exploded. In terms of my income, I've maintained clients as well, so I've got that kind of recurring revenue coming in. It's just growing brick by brick, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh, I need to grow my business to a $1 million business in 3 months. I want this business to be around in 20, 30 years time.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy to build it brick by brick, and I feel that's exactly what we're doing. So yeah, it's just in a place where I'm making more money than I have done ever, which is great. Obviously, I'm investing as well into the business. So in terms of like growth tax ads, that kind of stuff, which is just growing reputation, it's growing the brand. So yeah, the business is in the best place it's been, to be quite honest, in more than a decade, and we're 7, 8 weeks in, dude. So yeah, just thank you for that, really. Good advert,
Nice.
isn't it, for you, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I'll clip that up and cut it in half, and we'll just put blast that all over YouTube.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. It's very cool to see, and it's all you, which is the really cool thing. You know, everything that I've asked you to do and everything that's in the program in terms of like the learning material, you just implemented straight out the gate. I think you're maybe up there with like record speed of getting through the levels, which is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool. Like there's a few of you that have done it in this short space of time.
yeah.
Uh, so that's testament to you and yeah, your ability to just roll your sleeves up, mate, and get your hands dirty and get in there. Um,
But
so
it's the way you've taught it as well, It's the way you've structured the lessons, the teachings, the all
mm,
that stuff. It just made sense straight away, and it's not like 45-minute videos that you've got to sit down. Well, there might be the odd one, but they're normally recorded calls that you've done.
yeah,
But the lessons are short, sharp, they make sense. You implement, move on to the next, and I'm a big believer in that myself. Like not everyone's got loads of time, so if they're
uh,
short, sharp, they make sense. Get it done, move on to the next one.
yeah, yeah, sick man, really, really cool. Well, mate, thank you so much for sparing a bit of time to share your experience, man. That's been
No
epic, and
worries.
I'm looking forward to speaking to you straight after we hit pause on this and see where we take the business moving forwards.
Cool, man.
Sick.